Hey everybody, I want to make this video telling you about some really exciting new records that I've just listed on needlemeetsvinyl.com. And the first one I want to talk about is this one, which I think is hands down the most exciting one. And this is a copy of the Beatles' White Album. This is an original 1968 stereo pressing from the UK. And I recently just sold another one of these on my website a couple weeks ago. So I'm really happy to get another one of these up on the website. I found this one, and it's just a very, very excellent sounding copy of the White Album. And if you're looking to get a stereo version of the White Album with the original mix, this is the way to do it. It sounds fantastic. And the cool thing about this is it comes with the original poster and the original 4 photographs of the Beatles. So check this one out. It's on needlemeetsvinyl.com right now. This is going to go extremely fast because every single Beatles album I put up on the website, it just disappears very, very quickly. So check this one out, the Beatles' White Album from 1968. And to get a little bit more specific, this is a third pressing from 1968, and again, it's a UK stereo pressing, and it sounds phenomenal. So definitely check that out. Then this is one I'm really, really excited about. I've been spending a lot of time trying to find an excellent sounding copy of this jazz classic. This is the Dave Brubeck Quartet, and this is their Time Out album, and it's probably Kind of Blue by Miles Davis is probably the most famous jazz album of all time, but this one is definitely a very, very close second. This is just a jazz album that it's just so accessible to everyone. Really, even if you really don't care that much about jazz, there is so much within this album and in this music that almost anyone can appreciate. It's just an excellent, excellent album. And it's really just an essential part of anyone's record collection, in my opinion. And this is a fantastic sounding pressing of this. And it's on the original Columbia 6i label, which is it's the first label that it was on. This is a very early pressing. And there's the second side. And it's in excellent, excellent shape. Finding this in great shape with a clean surface and just sounding as top-notch as it can sound is a very, very hard thing to do. Trust me on that, because I went through, I think, like 12 different pressings of this album to find this one, and it is a phenomenal, phenomenal listening experience. So if you're looking to add this to your collection, check it out. It's on my website right now, needlemeetsvinyl.com. And I just can't say enough about how excellent this is. So head on over there, check this one out. Then moving on, this is the band's debut album. This is Music from Big Pink, which is just an absolutely classic record. One of my all-time favorite records. And this album is a bit of a tricky album to get right as far as sound goes. Obviously, the music within here and the performances by the band are just top-notch, some of the best you'll ever hear. But oddly enough, when this album was originally released by Capitol Records, it's never really sounded that good on vinyl. And I have an original copy on the Rainbow label for Capitol. I have a couple of later Capitol pressings. And so I went through a lot of different pressings to try to find one that sounded really, really good, to find the best-sounding one. And from what I found, this was the best sounding copy for me. And this is on the Capitol Orange label. And this is extremely clean. This particular record I actually got from someone's collection. And all the records I got from that collection were in amazing, amazing condition. Whoever owned this either didn't play it at all or just was meticulous about keeping it in fantastic shape. So this is in really, 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 really nice condition, and it sounds very good. But that being said, I will say that I gave this a 4-star out of 5-star rating for my website, and that's just because that's just how this album is for me. I haven't heard really a 5-star quality version of this album, and believe me, I've checked so many times. But This is on the website right now, so if you're looking for a clean copy of the band's Music from Big Pink and a really, really good sounding copy, this is the one for you. And if you go on the website, you'll notice that it's definitely, the price is reflected in everything I just said. So go to Needle Meets Vinyl, check this one out. It's just a fantastic record. Moving on, this is an amazing sounding record. This is Simon & Garfunkel's album, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. And this is just one of the best sounding Simon & Garfunkel records I've ever heard. And this is on the original Columbia, they call it the 360 label. And it just sounds phenomenal. And it's a very, very quiet pressing, which is super important. Because I don't know why, but a lot of Simon & Garfunkel records are just very noisy. I think it's just because a lot of times the music is kind of quiet, a lot of acoustic guitars, and so that leaves a lot of room for surface noise to be heard. This one, it is very quiet. There are a lot of quiet moments, but the surface noise is so minimal, and it just sounds amazing. This album has a bunch of just classic Simon & Garfunkel songs, including Homeward Bound, For Emily, Whenever I May Find Her. It's got Feeling Groovy, which is a really, really cool song. It's just got a bunch of really, really, really excellent tunes on here. And for me, I think my three favorite Simon & Garfunkel albums are definitely, my hands down favorite one is Bridge Over Troubled Water. And then I think coming in at number 2 is Bookends, but this is definitely my third favorite one, and it's just behind Bookends for me. Just an essential album from the 60s that anyone would be happy to own. So check this one out as well. And then I have 2 more or 3 more to show you. This one is really exciting. This is the Grateful Dead's album. This is Anthem of the Sun. And this one is a very, very hard album to find, especially in this condition. This is an original, really, really early pressing of this album. And I'll show you the record. It is on the Warner Brothers original green label, and it's got the Warner Brothers symbol with the blue W with the orange box. So that's a very early pressing of this album, and this is a very interesting record. It's considered a studio album, but it's very psychedelic. It's very weird where they took live versions of songs and studio versions of the songs and combined a lot of them to create these like weird hybrid versions of these tracks. And later on, the band went back and they remixed this album and re-released it in the 70s with a different cover, with like a white cover. But this is the original mix with the purple cover. And it's just very hard to find quiet. And this one is very quiet. And the sound quality on this will blow you away. It is an amazing listening experience. I'm not a huge fan of the Grateful Dead's kind of more jammy, kind of psychedelic stuff. I like American Beauty and Working Men's Dead. Those are my 2 favorite Grateful Dead records. But actually, this record really got me into kind of their more jammy psychedelic stuff just because it sounds so good. So this is worth checking out as well. So check this one out on the website, Grateful Dead, Anthem of the Sun. Moving on, I've been talking about this for a very long time. I've been meaning to list this on the website, but I finally did it. This is Graham Nash's album. This is his second solo album called Wild Tales. And for those of you who don't know, I am just a huge Graham Nash fan, especially in the last couple of years. His first album, Songs for Beginners, is one of my just recent favorite record discoveries, and this one is another one that I've been listening to this over and over again. In fact, I was playing this a couple of weeks ago, and my fiance came in from the other room, and she's like, "What is that? That's amazing. It sounds so good." And I was like, "It's Graham Nash," and she was like, "Wow, it's so good." She was like blown away just as much as I was. It's just an excellent album, and the sound quality on this is top notch, very, very good. So this one's worth checking out as well. And the other Graham Nash album is still on the website as well, Songs for Beginners. So you can pick up both of these and have both of his first solo albums. And I lowered the price on the Songs for Beginners album. and I made this one kind of low as well too. So you can get both of them together for $60, which is a really excellent deal, especially for top-notch audio like these. So check this one out as well. Check these ones out. I almost said that one. Check this one out on the website, needlemeetsvinyl.com, because excellent record. And last but not least, I've also been talking about this one, but I finally listed it as well. This is Rush's album, Moving Pictures. And as I've admitted, I'm not a huge Rush fan at all. But someone, I think like last month, they sent me an email and asked if I could find this album and put it on the website. So I picked up about 3 different copies of this, and this is the winner. This one sounds really good. Now, I admit I don't know much about Rush, and I don't really know much about that whole genre of like prog rock that Rush is known for. But I do know about good sound, and I can tell you that this record sounds really good. It's got such clarity, and I did a little bit of research on this recording, and actually this is one of the very first all digital recordings. This was released in 1980, I think it's 81. Yeah, 81. Recorded all digital, but I will say, although it is a digital recording, at times it really has a warm analog sound to it, which is kind of baffling. Most of the time when I was listening to this, I was thinking like, wow, it's a digital recording, but it sounds so warm and so nice. So it's a really excellent recording. And I listened to this, I don't know how many times I listened to this, probably like 4 or 5 times just to get a good overall feel for the music. And I gotta say, I really do appreciate Rush a lot more now than I ever did before. And this is definitely considered one of their best albums. And I think someone in one of my last videos commented that it's probably their best album. And I can see why, because it really is really cool. And I gotta say that the song that kind of blew me away on here is the song YYZ. It's an instrumental, but it's just a really cool track. And actually, it won like the Grammy for best instrumental. I guess in 1981 or whenever the Grammys were. And by the way, I don't really care much about the Grammys. I think they're kind of just a bogus thing. I don't think they generally equate to excellence. But if you win a Grammy, that's kind of cool, I suppose. So I might as well mention it. Anyway, so this is Rush's album, Moving Pictures. So this is also on the website, needlemeetsvinyl.com. Check that out. And check out all these records I just talked about, because they're all very cool albums. And I'm sure they would look good on your record player, on your record shelf. Because if you're like me and you are into records and you're into collecting records, you're always trying to find some new ones to add to the collection. And by the way, I really do have to mention this Dave Brubeck Quartet album, Time Out. It is so great. It sounds so good. So definitely check that out. And of course, the Beatles White Album. Everyone needs the Beatles White Album, especially a UK stereo pressing from 1968. So head on over there and pick it up, because this is going to go quickly. These other ones might be there for a while, so you got some time to kind of think about it. But these two, trust me, they'll be gone in a flash. So head on over to needlemeetsvinyl.com. Check out all these records. Check out just all the records I have on there right now, because you never know what might pop up. So that's it for now, and talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.